Hi there, I'm Dr. Chung, and I am your friendly proctologist. Thank you so much for being here, and I am sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, just filled with gratitude. This journey with this YouTube channel has been absolutely nuts, but more importantly, the community has been growing, and I feel that we've been bonding together with this issue with our bottom ends. You know, I'm certainly glad to see the comments because although I knew I wasn't alone because I've been seeing patients, but you just don't get a sense of how big the world is and how many of us there are, right? And so let's take comfort in that. We're not the only ones. We have so much to learn from each other. And you've caught me today on a very casual Friday. I'm wearing a t-shirt, and you know, I don't always want to hide behind the doctor persona, the blue scrubs and things like that. Today, I want to talk to you about something more vulnerable, tell you about how I'm learning in this field as a practitioner of medicine, right? And you saw it in the thumbnail. I am changing my mind, okay? I made a video not too long ago about laser hemorrhoid surgery. Really, I was not a fan of laser treatment for bottom end surgeries whatsoever. The research that I'd done for that video and the conclusions that I drew in that video, they were real at that time, okay? This is not a way to make stupid drama go viral in the medical field. I don't even know if that's a thing, really, you know, unless I'm talking about erections or sex or something like that, you know, then that tends to get like lots of views just because clickbait. But that's not the point here. The point of this video is to tell you what I've learned and how I've learned it. So let me just give you the punchline now. What led me to think so differently about laser? And the conclusion is insurance companies don't want to pay for laser surgeries, okay? It comes down to money, and I'll repeat that again. The reason why laser surgery is not being done in the United States is because of money. Insurance companies don't see the point in spending money for that procedure when the old-fashioned cut and stitching works just fine and is crazy cheap to pay for, okay? But we all know the issues with that procedure. Nobody wants to get it. We're all deathly afraid. Even I'm deathly afraid of getting that one day. I'm like trying to make sure that I eat my, you know, the diet that I need, the stool software I need, so I don't get those issues. But that's the thing here, okay? Even the best insurance in the entire country, okay, like a PPO, premium, platinum, gold plus, whatever you want to call it, they have a list of procedures that they are willing to pay for. And not every treatment that's offered is on that list. And that's how doctors, hospitals, medical centers, even the universities are geared towards. They're catering to insurance companies. Why? Because after a procedure or medication has been given to a patient, they need to file a claim and send it to the insurance company because they're hoping to get paid back for what they've done for you as a patient or for me as a patient. And if it's not something that they're going to approve of, guess what kind of check they're getting? A goose egg. Nothing. That'd be pretty much everything that was done for you was for free. Or the dirty thing about the United States system is that the hospital will say the insurance company denied it. Now we're passing the bill on to you and put you in debt for it. And you're like, what? Why? You offered it to me. Why? Insurance was supposed to pick it up. That's another topic for another day, but that's essentially why. And so if none of the insurance companies are going to pay for it, what doctor wants to get paid nothing? What doctor wants to turn over that bill over to you, or what hospital wants to turn that bill to you and say, now you got to pay for it and we're going to put you on the hook for that, you know, that surgery. And when I realized that, I was like, oh man, you know, I thought I was pretty, you know, acting pretty independently, thinking for myself here and for my patients, but it's not the case. There are things that are unseen, unfelt, unrecognized that are moving and influencing the way I do things every day, you know, and I know you can relate to that because there's so many different ways you can apply that. So armed with that new perspective, I started looking at laser surgery in general for my specialty with a new set of lenses. And what I found out is that there is a lot more benefit than the papers would ever have me realize. You know, the papers in the United States are awfully negative about laser surgery, and again, it's for the same reasons. They're under the influence, okay? And what I realize is that when you pick the right patients, laser surgery actually has a lot of benefits. And let me show you one of the lasers here, okay? Everyone loves an unboxing. But the laser fiber is in here, and it just looks like a very thin wire. The laser tip is way up here, and it's inside that plastic casing. But this thing goes, for the hemorrhoid surgery, it goes inside your hemorrhoid. It emits a light energy, right? That's what a laser is. And the red blood cells, the hemoglobin in there, is what picks up that energy, and that's what gets fried. And where does blood or hemoglobin live? It lives in blood vessels, which is what hemorrhoids are. But it's a very localized energy. It is not spread out in the entire body. It does not penetrate all the way through. It doesn't go to your private parts or into your stomach. It stays right there. And it's a lot less traumatic than cutting and stitching. Why? Because you're targeting only what's intended to be destroyed. Okay? Which means it leaves your muscles of your sphincter alone. It doesn't fry a huge landscape of hemorrhoids on the inside. And once I got to try this technology, I was floored as to how well it worked. And I was floored as to how well the technology has evolved, because this laser stuff is not new to medicine. Dermatologists have been using it forever. Urologists, ENT, and other specialties, they're finding lasers in applications for many different aspects of healthcare. After I was done with the surgery, that's not where things ended with my amazement. The recovery was amazing. The patient used way less pain medication than I could ever imagine, okay? I gave my usual amount of pain medications for this patient, and the patient hardly used any of them, okay? And I've done this for several people now, and it's been very consistent. And again, I felt so stupid that I was duped. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, Albert, you gotta give yourself a break. There's no way you could have known everything. You don't want to treat patients like a guinea pig. But still, I felt like my responsibility as a doctor is to know about these new and upcoming procedures, be able to offer them to patients as new and advantageous, especially if they have big advantages, right? Because the patients that had the laser hemorrhoid surgery had way less pain, okay? Their recoveries were not more complicated. They were able to get back to their lives sooner, okay? Pooping was not as painful as it is with cutting and stitching surgery. I mean, these are all the things that we've been looking for as patients with hemorrhoid issues. And I was like, why? And I was pretty upset about it, as you can tell. But that's why I'm making this video now, because now that I've had some experience with it and able to see what it can do, I'm now coming out of this video and telling you, yeah, laser surgery, it's the real thing. It's not hocus pocus. This is not some experimental thing. It's absolutely real. Lots of patients are already being treated with laser already and have been for years already. And guess what? Lasers are not just for hemorrhoids. It's also being used for anal fistulas, which I'm going to be using it for that as well. And guess what? Another thing. Lasers don't always need to be used in surgery while you're asleep. They can also be used in certain cases while you're awake. And amazing. It's throwing my world upside down with this treatment. And I think this laser stuff is really the future of hemorrhoid care. Really, it is. So how am I going to use lasers in the office? Not in the office, but how am I going to use lasers for my care of my patients, right? And it's not the best thing for very large hemorrhoids like grade 4 by itself. However, I will combine lasers with cutting and stitching as a combination to try and create as little destruction of the tissues as possible with the cutting and stitching. If I can spare anybody of that, that's where the laser can really be useful. Okay, for grade 2 and some grade 3s, depending on, I gotta see it, obviously always a case by case basis, the laser can be a great thing. Okay, and that's where the target is, grade 2 to grade 3. Grade 1 you can use lasers as well, but I think that to do that huge surgical procedure for a very small grade 1 makes no sense, but maybe a larger grade 1 that's coming into a grade 2. Again, I think this laser is really meant for the middle section of hemorrhoid sufferers. And so I've always said in videos like, hey, you don't have to do anything right now. You can wait till the hemorrhoids get bigger. You can figure out how to recover and cope. But with lasers, you may not need to now, right? Why wait until while your life is being inconvenienced and then have to have a huge surgery that's going to put you and lay you up because of the pain that you're going to have in the recovery. Instead, if you have the volition, then you can address the hemorrhoids while they're smaller, have a laser surgery, have a lesser recovery instead of waiting, if you chose to do that, right? And I think having that option as an additional outlet, as another way of thinking about your own condition, is a very powerful thing. Because if you choose to not do anything about it, you want to wait, fine, no big deal. If you want to do something now, there's a great solution for that too when they're smaller. And I think making choices and being informed, having options, is the most powerful thing we can have in life, is options, and being able to think about and figure out what's best for me, what do I want to do with my body, and what goals do I want to accomplish. So I thank you again for your patience with me. I wanted to be vulnerable today and tell you that, yeah, I will make mistakes. I will change my mind, and that's part of learning as a practitioner. But when things are new, I also want to balance that by being careful and not treating people like guinea pigs either. Again, I am so thankful that I was able to see the light, if you want to call that, because the laser is really going to be something that I'm going to be implementing a lot, because it's really transformed the recovery. I'm thrilled about it, and I hope that you are doing the best you can. If you have any questions, or if you want me to do videos on this laser thing, which I of course will, like for anal fistulas and etc., I will be doing that eventually. But again, thank you for your patience. I wish you the best in your recovery. Take care. Bye-bye.